Hi guys and gals, Jackie with Famished Farm, and we're talking about the year of minimal me and what that means for us financially. And what we're trying to do this year is live more responsibly on a semi-retired person and a retired, fully retired person's income. And we established, I haven't budgeted per se, haven't needed to budget for a long time, but you know, going into retirement, and I've lived this way for 25 years, business of my own, no paychecks. When you become self-employed and then retired, semi-retired, retired, you no longer get paychecks, and that's a really scary, daunting thing. And for me, I've had a lot of time to get used to that. But going forward, as I let go of my soap business at some point in the future, then that paycheck is going to be gone. So what we've decided to do is to do not a strict budget, but let's start paying attention to where our money is going. What are we spending perhaps recklessly on, and where can we improve? So let's identify where the outflows are and try to tap into stemming that flow. So what we did is I used Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app, and they do have a free part of that app, and so that is what I'm using to start our beginning budget. And that in and of itself is a time-consuming thing that really demands that you pull out your checkbook, your statements, your bank statements, and identify where each line item is going. And so I had started that process toward the end of last year, and then even for January, because I knew January was going to be the first month that we really paid attention to it. And it's taken this long to identify everything. And I'm sure this is not complete. So for instance, what we tracked this month, January 2024, we forgot to add my husband's American Express payment, and he maybe has on average $50 a month that goes to Amex. And we remembered house insurance and car insurance, but we also have a balloon policy, and our umbrella policy. I completely forgot about that. So that hit our account at the end of the month, and I'm like, oh, okay. So that's another 200 and whatever bucks out the door. So looking at our outflows of money for the last year, and I didn't look every month, but I can tell you in general, our biggest waste is in groceries. And it's for most of the year, it's two of us living here, and we were spending $800 to $1,000 at the grocery store every month. And you know, that's not 100% organic, all grass-fed. That's just whatever crap we're buying. A lot of organic, a lot of grass-fed, but not 100%. So in my mind, that was a lot of waste. So our goal was I started out with the number around $200 a month, which is $50 a week, which I upped that to $250 a month, give or take. And at that level, we still saw groceries. We ended up spending roughly $300. So we were about $50 over on groceries, way better than it had been, and some room to improve. Now, the problem is both Rod and I grocery shop, and he tends to refill the wine And then he's got snacky foods like nuts, peanuts, and chocolate that he kind of keeps separate from the house pantry. And I don't have control over that because I don't want control over that. And so I don't always see the bills for that. So that impacts the grocery bills in ways that I can't always anticipate. And I do know that I didn't receive his last little snack haul that he did. I didn't get a receipt for that. So that $50 over is probably more like $100 over for the month, which still would put us about $350, which is not bad. I'm happy with that. Room for improvement, but very happy with that. Now, and here's why. In the months where we don't have any company, if we can keep it toward the $250, that's probably a smarter thing. And then we can splurge and buy treats and have a little more leeway when family and friends are here. So that is the goal for that. And part of the whole reason of being more mindful in budgeting for us is that we are traveling more. So we want to, and maybe not more is the right word, but we're traveling and we're more aware of it because now we don't have paychecks to fund those travels. And so we would like to enjoy the same amount of traveling, but we want to be more mindful about things not going on credit cards, and if they do go on credit cards, getting them paid off the next month. So that's the key. Now, we had 2 or 3 other areas where our expenses this month went over the budget, and of those, our dog had a lot of expenses right at the beginning of the year because she was a new patient to the area in January. So her vet visits are at the beginning of the year. And I needed to buy heartworm and flea protection, as well as her food that we buy every 2 months. She's on a science diet, a medical diet for dogs. So we were over $166 for the month based on what we spent in January. But that is really going to be spread out over several months' time, say 6 months' time. And in 6 months' time, that will be more in line with what we anticipate spending. She does go to the groomer every month, and that's a now would tip $55-ish bill every month. And in addition, she's got allergies, she's got urinary tract issues. So dogs and cats are expensive even when they're healthy. And when you have one that has medical issues on top of it, it's just more of a cash drain. But they're family members, so you are spending that very willingly. You just need to be aware of that. Another thing that hit us in January, again, we anticipate this. Our doctor's visits, we started most of our medical, dental, eye doctor relationships in January when we moved here 2 years ago. So most of those visits, and we both are on 6-month visits for our various doctors, primary care, and Rod goes to cardiologist, I go to a dermatologist. So we've got regular visits that we anticipate, and usually every 6 months. So we were over about $50 on those visits for January. And then the other thing was our electric and electricity in Northwest Alabama this time of year. We do have gas fireplaces, which are less expensive to run, but our main heat exchange air conditioner is electric. And so with our sub-zero temperatures this last month and actually into December, we're straining our electricity a little bit, but for average, I think we did pretty good because we were only about $4 over where we thought we would be. And that is running auxiliary heat in our utility room, and we have a heat tape plugged in out in that room to prevent a water line freeze like we had the first year we lived in. So anyway, all in all, the January budget, we did, I think, quite well. It pointed out areas to be concerned, and it certainly identified things we missed. And a budget is a living, breathing thing. It is not static. And if it is, you're lucky. You're probably young with very few payments and very few doctor visits, and that's a good thing. Enjoy that while it lasts. Once you add kids and careers and all the things that life brings with, it sometimes can be mind-boggling what you've got going on. But I think a budget is a great way to put your mind at ease that you are doing what's right for your family in approaching your finances. And so for us, that is, it is working so far in 2024 to be aware of where our money's going and where else it's going to go for the rest of the year. We do know we've got a trip to Nashville coming in April and a trip up north back to Northern Illinois for a wedding in September. And so those are two of our fun things that we're looking forward to. And we'll see what happens. We'll keep you informed about what's going on with those. So thanks again for being along on this journey. If you have any ideas, suggestions, comments, please leave them below. But thanks for being here, and I appreciate your company. Thank you.